Leyla and the Domestication of Goats. Climate changes, sudden warming or cooling of temperatures, as well as changes in precipitation patterns, have contributed to major changes in society. Rising temperatures, for example, lead to rising sea levels, and high temperatures can cause drought and desertification, as happened in the case of the Sahara and the Arabian Peninsula. Some archaeologists say that people have become better at building new things and using better tools, and that has helped us progress and have a better life. Therefore, they divide history into epochs such as the Stone Age, the Metal Ages. However, perhaps the greatest change in human life was their transition from being hunter-gatherers to cultivating plants and domesticating animals. That's why they also divide the Stone Age into several parts, such as the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Their gradual transition from hunter-gatherers, with an intermediate stage of plant caretakers and protectors, to plant cultivators and animal domestics was therefore essential. It's quite easy to understand what it means to be a hunter-gatherer, but we might wonder what it means to be a caretaker and protector of animals in the Stone Age. Well, let me provide an example to make it clearer. For instance, Native Americans in North America didn't sow seeds or plant anything, but they facilitated the growth of certain species favorable to them. Or, concerning animals, they didn't yet domesticate them, but they had the habit of not hunting female animals, pregnant ones, or young specimens to avoid endangering the species. That's what it meant in the Stone Age to care for animals in this regard. Today I will tell you a story set in the Stone Age, towards the end, in a period called the Neolithic, about how a dear and adorable girl named Leyla domesticated a goat. Leyla and her family lived in a mountainous area with cooler winters and milder summers, somewhere in what is now Iran, not far from desert regions characterized by hot and dry summers. The goats loved the mountainous areas, and their presence provided an important resource for her family as hunting objects. Everyone ate their meat except Leyla. Even from a young age, she noticed something peculiar. She was so perceptive that she couldn't even speak yet, but she observed that when animals were killed, they cried out and made sounds of pain. With her childlike mind, she concluded that animals didn't like being hurt, and compassionate as she was, she refused to eat any kind of meat, not even fish. One day, her father and older brother went out hunting, as they usually did. They had quite some success quickly, hunting down a goat, but as soon as they killed it, they noticed that the nanny goat had two fairly large kids. Without much thought, they decided to hunt down these two kids as well, but they realized they couldn't use all that meat at once. So, to prevent the meat from spoiling, they thought to themselves that they should only injure the kids enough to capture them so they could take them home. After they finished the mother goat's meat, they could then kill the kids one by one, ensuring they'd have plenty of meat for a long time. And so, with a nod and some silent signals, father and son managed to catch the two young goats easily. Proud and pleased, they headed home with their catch, barely able to carry them both. At home, the woman rejoiced at the meat, while Leyla cherished the adorable little goats that had stolen her heart from the first moment. She pleaded with her parents to let her take care of them, to feed them, and to clean the room where they'd be kept, and her parents agreed. Leyla fed them 2 to 3 times a day, changed their water daily, and even gave them a large chunk of salt, because goats enjoy and need to lick salt regularly. But she also talked to them and petted them, and they became the best of friends. They lived beautifully, in greater happiness, for a while, but then came the day when Leyla's parents decided it was time to slaughter one of the goats. It was a rainy, rather cold day. Leyla's father had no desire to go hunting. Her mother didn't feel like going out to gather edible plants in such ugly weather, and at home they didn't have much to eat. As they were about to start their tasks, Leyla, understanding what was happening, burst into indescribable tears. Then she screamed. The quiet and smiling girl turned into a true fury. Her cheeks turned red, her hand trembled, and she screamed at the top of her lungs that she would not let them kill her best friends. Leyla's parents were shocked to see her like this. They didn't know what to say, so surprised were they. They remained silent for a few moments, and it was the first time they didn't scold the girl when they didn't agree with her. They left the goats alone. They didn't eat anything that day. After that scene, the question of killing the goats never arose again. Over time, they multiplied, and Leyla's parents realized that goat's milk was edible and even very tasty. They learned to make cheese and all sorts of goodies from the milk, and they became the wealthiest people in the area where they lived, and everyone around them came to them to learn their craft and to ask for goats to start their own herds. In exchange, they gave them what they had, so Leyla's family became the richest and happiest family thanks to Leyla's big heart. And so the wild goats became domesticated, and thus Leyla's compassion and love for her animal friends not only enriched her family's life, but also paved the way for a new era of prosperity and harmony in their community. The characters and events may have been fictional, but the attitudes they displayed resonate in our society today and can spark intriguing discussions about who agrees or disagrees with them and why. The truths are as follows. 1. The climate is constantly changing, either gradually or abruptly, but always changing, just like the society we live in. 2. The progress of humanity is attributed not only to advancements in crafted objects, but even more so to the transition from being hunter-gatherers to becoming plant cultivators and animal breeders. 3. The domestication of animals took place towards the end of the Stone Age, largely during the period known as the Neolithic.